Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. So today I'm here to give you a look into my reading journal for 2022, so far into the year. So let's take a look. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm excited to give you a look into my reading journal so far. Now this is only filled until I think the end of June, so which is the first half of the year. And you might have seen this journal before because this is one of my video classes, and I've shared this journal with you. Now I went ahead and rebound the whole journal just because I needed to rearrange the pages, and as I was doing so I had to kind of move the signatures, and which I ended up having to restitch the signatures on the cover. But yes, sometimes I'm very particular on how I want things to be, and this is my process. But anyway, so I really love how the sections are divided now, and so yeah, so over here on the cover we have the beautiful flowers. All of these come and the kits that I use for this journal. I believe the kit's no longer available, but I do have the video class if you would like to make something like that. I really love the gilded edges that I created with a lot of embossing on these journal, and it's just a beautiful paper collection. It's just very classic. I love all the books, the Parisian papers as well. And so I figured for this video I'll give you a look on how I set up the pages and how I document my books, but also we can do a little bit of decorating since I have all these gorgeous laces that I got from Taperlogy, and I kind of want to add a lot of these on the side pages. Maybe we can do that together, maybe create some tabs and things like that. And so I will have a link for you for the laces as well. I do also have a discount code. You will find all of that on the description box. But now let me give you a look into the journal. I added this little tag here, and I'm supposed to put the year of the journal. I haven't done that yet. I also have a few cute stickers that my girls got me. I think they got this from Shein, but it has like a lot of books and cats, so it's really cute. So now let's open this up. So I always like to include a lot of challenges for my reading journal. So if you watch my other channel, you'll see that I might do like a week of thrillers or a week of romance, and I do like to challenge myself. I don't know, it just makes it more fun to pick books based on some challenge. So I printed out some of my challenges. I get a lot of them on the internet, of course. This one is from novelnight.com, and then the other ones that I always use is Beyond the Book End. You can also find some different like challenges. So this is my fall 2022 reading challenge, and so the goal basically is to complete each one of the prompts. And again, it just makes it fun. You don't have to finish it. It's just kind of like a guidance, and it feels so good every time you do like a check mark. This one was a little bit more complex, and I basically, after I read a book, I see if it fulfill any of the challenges here. So for example, over here on this challenge, you find like a one-word title, something that was like a debut novel, something that had 6 words on the title. I mean, it's just really fun. A book about siblings, so you can kind of see the little check marks, and I still have a few to complete. Now I use these little books from the paper collection to create a little pocket, and what I like to do is once I set up like a little TBR, let's say for the fall or for the summer or whatnot, I print out the book covers. So I basically just Google the image and do a little screenshot and put all of these in a work document, and then I print out the sheet using some sticker paper, and so that way they're a lot easier to just put in the page, and you can take your journal with you, and you don't have to carry glue or anything like that, and so it just makes it really easy. So these are some books that I have like on my list to read, and so those will go here. Some of these I actually already finished, but I haven't finished adding them to my journal. So that is this page. I left this page empty because I want to put here my favorite book of the year, so this is definitely going to be filled up later on. And then here you can see another book challenge. So this one is more like for every month. So for example, it says in January, it says read a book adapted to the screen. So I read Emma, and so I just think it's fun to kind of have some little prompts, especially when you feel stuck and you don't know what to read next. It's just fun to have, and it's definitely fun to see it completed. And so next here we have the 2022 books to read. So this is a list that I created, and I like to create this list every year based on like the best books, for example, of 2021. Then I like to add those to my list to read for 2022. And I used to do like 20 books for 2020, 21 books for 2021 and this was 22 books for 2022, but I ended up having more just because I'm a Virgo and so when I see 2 empty spaces, I just need to add some more. So this ended up being 24 books. And so all I did again is print the book on a smaller size. I just drew a little square section and I just fill it as I read the book. So again, really fun to see it come together. And now that we are approaching the end or the second half of the year, there's definitely some books that I need to include on my TBR to read, but I think I've read pretty much half of the book, so I think I am making good progress. So next we are going to get into the months, and my spreads are very simple. So basically I read a book, I print the book, and then I glue the book and just journal or write a little bit about what I like the book. A lot of the times I don't include like spoilers, but I mean, it honestly doesn't matter because I'm the only one who's going to read these. And some of the books that I really love, I do more of like an in-depth analysis, if anything. And some of the ones I just write how the book made me feel without necessarily talking about, you know, the whole plot of the book or whatnot, but just how you felt the time that you read the book, and you know, if it's something that made an impact in your life somehow. And so yeah, so this book was amazing. I mean, definitely the best way to open up the year was reading this. So here on this week I wanted to read some thrillers, and I got a lot of questions on how I have so much time to read, and honestly I do most of my reading on audiobooks as I'm driving, as I'm cleaning, as I'm cooking, and I do also like to sit down and cozy up with a book, but I might read half of the book on audio and half actually sitting down, you know. So over here on February, you can see I just simply move right into the next month. Last year I was doing covers and I was doing TBR list. This year I just wanted to make my life a little bit more simple. It is a little bit time consuming to print the books. So another thing that I'm doing differently this year is kind of print the books ahead. Like I print ahead, even if I don't read it, it's fine. Last year I was making the list at the end of the month and then making the print, so it was a little bit more time consuming. This time I'm kind of thinking ahead a little bit more. So on February I wanted to read more classics, more romance. So over here this page is dedicated to Jane Austen. So I read Emma, and these two books are not by Jane Austen, but they kind of talk about Jane Austen, like, and they're just books that definitely fulfilled my week of Jane Austen novels. Sarah's Key is a book that I mentioned before because it impacted my life, and I actually made a project based on that book as well, and honestly that story stays with me, oh my gosh, forever. So one book that I highly recommend. So here also in February I wanted to do a week of Black History Month reading, so I have all of these books here. Negra is a book that I got in Peru, and it talks about the Black history life in Peru from the times of like the colony, the conquer, and how slaves were brought into Peru and the role that the slaves had on like the church. So it was a really, really interesting, informative book to read. The Help, of course, very popular. This one again by Maya Angelou. I know why the cage bird sings, another book that deeply impacted my life. Wow. And then Bound, which is another very inspirational book. I'm sorry if I'm losing my voice a little bit, it's quite late when I'm making this video. And then of course I wanted to close out the month with a little bit of fantasy, just to kind of wash out the sadness of the previous books. And so on this page here I didn't write anything yet, but because the image here is so cozy, it's kind of like a chair, one of those hanging chairs with a book. I think here I'm going to talk about all my favorite places to read, and so that will be very nice to add something, you know, different than just the books, but related to reading as well. And so over here you can see that I also read some thrillers. Thrillers are actually my favorite go-to read because they just wake me up especially when you're listening to an audiobook and you're driving. It just really keeps you like awake, wanting to know what is happening next. I don't know. And also I read Lucy Foley, The Paris Apartment, and this was my first Lucy Foley, and then I went ahead and I read another one by her that I just really like, but by far The Paris Apartment is my favorite. And so then over here we have another long spread of this historical fiction, Christine Hanna. She is amazing, and so I really had to write a lot because just so much that I learned from that book. Oh my gosh. And then more thrillers here. B.A. Paris, another one of my favorite authors, and I definitely want to read more from her. And then I read Cloud Cuckoo Land, which was one of my books on my TBR for the year. So I also do go back and see which ones I need to read next, and it was just so amazing. I mean, this book, it's on another level. Like the creativity, the world building, and I just love when books awaken my creativity for crafting projects as well. And then we have more, these are more like literary fiction. Black Girls Must Die Exhausted and The Black Kids, and this is the kind of book where there's always a message, like a beautiful message, and I just really like taking from books like that because I feel like they just make you grow as a person in general. Piranesi, another magical book. So you can see now we are in April. More kitty stickers. So on April I got more into fantasy. Piranesi is such an amazing, confusing, wonderful book. I mean, I highly recommend, if you pick up the book, to just stay with it, because at the beginning when I was reading the book I was so confused, but you are meant to be confused, so just keep on reading and then you're gonna absolutely love that book. Then I read Harry Potter. So I have never read Harry Potter before. I've never even watched the movies. I mean, it's not something that was happening when I was growing up, and not something that I studied in college. And then as an adult, I just never gravitated towards middle grade books until now. So absolutely enjoy the book. I found these really cute stickers that kind of go with the theme, and I'm excited to read the next books on the series and to actually watch the movies now on fall. So I think that will be a really cozy night. And then we have some, oh, I forgot to put the title here. I was gonna put in here spring thrillers, and just because the covers of the books look a lot like spring, not so much that the book talks about spring, but you know, I wanted to come up with a theme for the week, and I had all these beautiful books. So Lisa Jewell, another one of my favorite authors, The Good Sisters. So these are all like pretty much 4 or 5 stars books here, and this kitty is just adorable, so I have to come back and put my title there. And then so here we have more thrillers. This is a literary fiction that kind of felt like a trailer as well. So then we moved to May. So on May I wanted to read more like fantasy, something to put me on like a spring mood. And of course we have The Secret Garden, which was my first time reading this book, and it's definitely one that I think I might read every year because it definitely made me decorate my house, fill my whole house with flowers. It was just so beautiful. And then we have One Italian Summer. I read these on the week of Mother's Day, and here on the stickers I found these two like girls, and so they kind of look from, I don't know, from like the 50s or the 60s, I don't know. And look how much I wrote, because this is another book that I absolutely love, and it just filled my heart with so much joy. And also on this book we're learning how our parents are actual people. So it was kind of interesting because you always see your parents as, you know, your parents, of course, and sometimes you forget that they were people learning how to navigate life and make mistakes, and we shouldn't, you know, judge them for. And so on this book we're following a mother-daughter relationship, and they have this perfect relationship. So the daughter always sees her mom as this, you know, amazing, perfect mother, perfect person. And so they are going to take this trip together to Italy, to the mom's favorite place, but the mom passes away before they go on this trip. So the daughter decides to go on this trip alone, just to honor her mom and to visit her favorite place. And little did you know that her mom is there 30 years younger, so it's kind of like she travels in time and reconnects with her mom. So she's able to learn about her mom before she was even married, before she even had her, and it was just such a beautiful learning experience and connection. So I highly recommend that book. So here I put love because I wanted to read some romance books, and romance is definitely not the books that I go to, but these two were definitely well, I want to say this one was really fun to read. This one was really sad to read, but they were both really good. And then again, more fantasy. Sometimes get excited and write a lot about the books. Same thing here, all of these books. So this was a memoir, so I don't like to rate memoir because I feel like it's kind of wrong. You know, you're judging somebody's story, life story. So it was a really sad book to read, but also with an inspiring message as well. And then All the Light We Cannot See, which is probably one of my favorite books of the year, really high up there. I was on the process of filling my June books, so that's what I do too. Like, I finish the book and I just glue them. Here I brought down one that I need to print, and then I just need to come back and add my my journaling. So here's the Colleen Hoover page. I had a week reading Colleen Hoover books, and this was actually not even a week. This was probably like 3 days because I was hooked on her books here. So I have a little wedding lady here, as you can see, because All Your Perfects talks about this wedding or married couple that are really struggling with infertility, and it was just wow, and like 5-star, beautiful book. I think it's one of my favorites from Colleen Hoover. Then I read Ugly Love in November 9 as well, so 4 stars for those 2 books. And then more thrillers here, so you can see that I do this in parts. I don't sit down and do it all at once. Just whenever I have a little time, I go and fill my books. And then for July, I went as far as printing my summer bingo. Again, really fun to print these prompts here. So this comes from Beyond the Book Ends. So you can print these pages and kind of just add them to your journal. I also do print on sticker paper. Yeah, so I did the same for the fall. I think this will be a bingo thing too, if you can make a line or just read them all, I don't know. And so I plan on putting this one here before we start our September month. So I guess since I'm here, I can just go ahead and add this page. But yeah, so that is my thinking process, which is not really, you know, that detail when it comes to add my books. Just print them out, print out the covers, and start writing the books that you read. And so yeah, so last year I remember falling behind like this as well, but honestly, like, I really love going back and looking at the book covers. But anyway, so I think right now I am going to just put some music. I'm going to add some of these laces and embellish the pages a little bit more, and then I'll show you how it would look at the end. So look how beautiful the laces look here on the side of the journal. I mean, it just makes the journal look so romantic, so pretty. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna leave a link to Taperlogy on the description box below. So all of these laces come in one bundle, so you get a different variety of laces, and as you can see, they were sized perfect to the page of your journal, which is, this is an 8.5 by 11, so all the laces are the perfect size. I wanted to show you this one here that I use for December, because it has little bows, so it looks like presents. So pretty. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.